Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of this podcast. It's your boy, young host, Dylan, and today I'm joined by, you guessed it, Mr. Alex. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Well, I'd be doing okay if I wasn't also joined by Sean. Sean, how are you?
Fantastic.
Yeah, see, that's why my day's bad. And Alec, I'm joined by you.
Hey, I'm doing
How
great.
the fuck are you?
I'm doing so fucking good. And here's my advice for the day, guys. If you're not beating it, nobody will.
I'm just glad you started answering my question before I asked it. Thank you.
You know, it's almost like I knew what you were going to say.
You know, yeah, we've been doing this podcast for a long time. Of course, you're going to pick up on my...
we have made it to 2 episodes.
That's true.
It's our anniversary.
We call that the big twofer.
The big twofer. Big twofer.
Pod?
So, we had a lot of fun last time, just starting off with some Would You Rathers. And we might not do it every time, but I think we're going to do it this time. Alex, of course, has a few great questions. And, you know, maybe we'll talk 30 more minutes about shit, and maybe we won't.
Listen to find out.
If you want more shit, hit that like button.
Definitely. All right, guys. I've got some good questions here. I want to pick your brains. I want to know what's going on in there.
Pick it.
Not so much your brain, but... I guess we're going to find out regardless.
Yo, pick it.
Oh, my Lord. Okay.
Pick that shit, boy.
So the first Would You Rather question today is,
fuck.
would you rather have no AC or heat in your car or no stereo in your car?
Well, as somebody who lived several years with the 1989 Dodge Aries K, I can tell you confidently I would rather not have AC or heat in my car. Because I already lived it. Mm-hmm. And, music, it warms you up, man.
I get that, man. But when you've got, 10 feet of snow out, like we do now, you're going to be waiting a while.
I'm probably getting a ride.
We're currently snowed in. It is 10 feet on the ground.
It's 10 inches.
That's what I said.
But, yeah.
So my answer to this one is actually, I'm going to go the big brain route, and I'm going to say I'd rather have no radio. Because right now I barely use my radio as is.
I was going to ask.
Because
how often do you even?
Well, this is the thing: is I turn my phone on, my playlist, and I put a wireless earbud in while I'm driving anyway. So
that's very unsafe.
I assumed we were talking like we couldn't use the radio at all.
No, there's no stereo in your car. Period. I mean, you can play music on your phone.
Yeah,
just not very loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very not good to do what you just said you do actively.
You see, this is the thing, is it's not 2 earphones. I'm not stupid. It's just one.
Debatable.
Yo, I'm stupid. Whenever I drive to the laundromat, I have both earbuds in listening to music because I drive an old truck, or it's not old, it's just as old as I am, and doesn't have Bluetooth or an aux cord. So all I have is a CD player and a radio. Radio music sucks. And all I have is Kanye West CDs, and after a while, you get tired of listening to Yeezy all the time.
Well, I got questions that could come later about Kanye West CDs.
I mean, I'm gonna change my answer.
Okay.
To answer,
I want heating and cooling. Sean.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
I'm in the same boat because as cold as it is, and I drive long distances every now and then, it would suck ass if I drove long distances when it was no degrees outside.
I mean, we're from Missouri, so it's either one or the other. It's really fucking hot and humid, or it's really fucking cold. I need that AC. I need that heat. I probably don't listen to my stereo about 10% of the time, but when I do listen, it's usually podcasts. And I mean, you gotta have the stereo to listen to our podcasts, but you can also be like Alec and Sean here and risk your life and everyone else around you and just throw some earbuds in.
I just use my eyes.
Thought there was also a time in my Aries K that I didn't have a radio either.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a Bluetooth speaker and shoved it in my trunk and turned it up all the way.
Hell yeah.
And just fucking went through on my phone.
About the dangers of driving with earphones, I'm gonna live like the great Vin Diesel once lived. My life.
He's still alive.
He's alive, but a quarter mile at a time.
That's Dominic Toretto. Vin Diesel's the guy who plays Dominic Toretto.
It's actually baby Spartacus.
Sporticus, and no one knows what you're talking about.
That's an inside joke. You fuck. Anyway, I would do you one better and live like Larry.
Larry didn't drive a car.
Shut the fuck up. Just because he's a lobster doesn't mean he can't follow his dreams. Anyway.
They drive boats in the show.
Shut up! Shut up!
Called me a fucking idiot. Look at this guy.
He's fucking gay.
You say this to me today? Today. The day of my daughter's
You
wedding.
don't have a daughter. Shut the fuck up.
Close your point.
I don't remember what my fucking point was.
So I think we're all kind of going with the no stereo. You want the AC,
Yeah.
you want the heat, you want to be comfortable while you're driving.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd have to
And
agree.
even if you don't have earbuds, everyone's got a fucking song stuck in their head most of the time anyway.
Okay.
What a great
Yeah.
point.
Science. That's science.
Yeah.
Alright, next would you rather we got
I do
here
right
is
now.
would you rather be forced to live the same day over and over again for a full year or lose 3 years of your life?
Lose 3 years of my life.
Why?
Nothing good happens in it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if you got
Bro, with the days...
less than 3 years left, like you just instantly die?
That's fine. with the
Wow, we're gonna get into that later.
with the days I have, I think I'd rather inject Tabasco sauce into my ball sack than relive most of them
But if you
over and over again for the rest of my life.
if you're reliving, no, not just for a full year.
Yeah.
But if you live the
Oh,
same
yeah,
day
that's
over
right.
and
But
over
still-
again,
but still.
you have a year to perfect the day.
I mean, dog, like, I might, if I don't take this deal, live to be 80. I don't want to live to be 80 anyway. I don't want to be old, barely walking, lose my mind, have fucking lizard skin.
I know lots of 80-year-olds that are not like
Not
on
lizards.
the deathbed.
I'd rather just skip being old and just die. All right.
You see, this is
Like, I'm not
therapist.
like no, I'm not depressed or anything.
I disagree.
I'm not afraid of a whole lot, but being old scares the fuck out of me.
more than wasps.
More than wasps. I see them like drag their feet. I'm serious, fellas. I see them like drag their feet, not being able to fucking walk normally. I see them like losing their minds and act like total cunts at the grocery store.
That's
Dude,
just...
that's the best part. When you're old, you can get away with anything. I can walk to a grocery store buck naked and be like,
But you're
"Where's the peas?"
but you're wearing
Nobody's
fucking
asking
diapers.
questions.
But you're wearing
That's
diapers.
not guaranteed
You don't
that
have
you
to
wear
wear the
diapers. If
I'm
that's what
pissing on the Country Mart floor, baby. What you talking about?
All I'm saying is I'd rather take the 3 years off my
Okay,
life.
Sean wants to lose 3 years off his life. Alec,
All right, so my thing is, do we get to pick the day that we relive?
we'll just say it's tomorrow or today. So let's do today. You gotta relive today over and over again for a full year.
100% that.
Okay.
100% that.
I'm taking 3 years. I don't.
You had a shitty day.
I
huh?
hated work today. I am a mailman, and we had the biggest winter storm we've ever had today, or I guess last night, February 15th, 2021. And I hated it.
I mean, even if you get to pick the same day, like if you had the best day ever, you were off work, you got up, you had a fucking dank breakfast, you hung out with your friends all day, you got drunk as hell, you went to a concert, whatever it is that you wanted to do. I mean, after a year of doing that for a full year every single day, that would have to get old, right?
Right, but I would rather have that than miss out on 3 years
Exactly.
of new experiences that I could have.
Right. I mean, it's basically 1 year versus 3 years. So there's 2 years difference. Either you're spending a full year doing the same thing over and over again, which, I mean, we basically already are.
Yeah.
American society, we get up, we go to work, we come home.
We live in a society.
Or you lose 3 years off
Fact.
the end of your life. Which, if you got 4 years left, boom, you're down to 1 year of your life left.
Yeah, I mean,
really, if I had to relive one day for a year, I think all I'd do is wake up every morning on that day and then go and buy like 3 or so bottles of Viagra and then down an entire bottle and just jerk off all
So,
fucking
like-
day.
yeah. So
for our next-
so within that disgusting shit, there is a decent question of like, yes, it's the same day every day, but like, do you have to do whatever it was you originally did, or is it like one of those time loop movies?
Yeah, like
where,
when you're
you can
when you're
do
in like a
whatever-
lucid dream where you can just
It's
control
like,
what
I
you
don't know
do.
if any of you have watched Supernatural. But
Yeah,
it's
I
like
have.
it's like Sam and Dean are brothers. They hunt monsters, blah, blah, blah. Watch it.
Yeah.
It's a great show. Sam relives the same day over and over again. Every day, Dean dies in a different way. Which obviously it might not be that extreme, but he has to every time. So he goes to sleep, and when he wakes up, that he tries to change it, but every single time Dean still
The
dies.
inevitable happens.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the same thing is going to happen at the end of the day, no matter how hard you try to perfect
But I
it.
can do whatever I want, but the end result's going to be the same
But in
of whatever the day was.
Oh.
I mean, you'd be knowing what's coming.
Mhm.
Like, I know at this time this will happen, and after a full year, you're going to have it down pat. The inevitable will still happen, but
Well, the thing
mean,
is,
I thought it was more like Groundhog
if
Day.
I had eventually deduced that at the end of the day, no matter what I do, I'm going to have sex, I kind of think that I'm going to go with that. Because I'll just do whatever I want, and boom, come.
Okay. I mean, you and Sean are kind of in the same boat.
I don't
Except
know.
Sean is by himself.
Like,
and
I
you're
did
not, so-
I picked the 3 years.
Yeah.
If it had to be, like, today. But, like, I don't know. And with the 3 years thing, do you literally skip over 3 years of your life? Or are you
lose
just
3 years
guaranteed?
at the end of your life.
So you're just guaranteed to die
Yes.
3 years earlier than you normally
Yes.
would? Okay.
Okay.
So, like, if I'm not skipping 3 years, then yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
I think I'd rather die 3 years earlier than relive today every day for a year.
So I also want to get back to my good friend Sean Willie, and the fact that this man is
Speak up,
conveying
dude.
this man is conveying to us today that he's ready to go. He's ready to leave this world, and
Well,
I
that's
think
convenient because you're fired.
Whoa.
Yeah. We've had enough. Your attitude around the office is draining.
What?
we're gonna find this man some help. Don't you
The
worry.
first episode was enough.
Yeah. First episode.
All right, so Sean, you went with 3 years off your life.
Yes.
Alec, you went with same day over and over.
Yep.
You went with 3 years off your life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Alec. I'm gonna say I'm gonna relive the same day over and over again, and not lose 3 years.
Well, I mean, if I get to pick what day it is, I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that
that would be-
too.
that would be
but if
one
it had
thing.
to be today,
Yeah.
no.
For the sake of argument, we'll just do today. Okay. All right.
Fuck that.
Here is a freaking doozy, boys. Are you ready?
I'm
Yeah.
ready for the
Sorry,
doozer.
boy.
Would you rather get a paper cut every time you touch paper, or bite your tongue every time you eat?
Oh, mama!
I'm biting
Paper
my
cut.
tongue every time I eat.
That was
I
quick.
work with paper.
Oh, yeah, that's
True.
right.
I don't need that.
Your hands would be literally
I'll die.
nothing.
You know how pathetic that is?
I mean,
You
you
bleed
could
out
always
from
just
paper
get a
cuts.
different occupation.
I could, but my job's brain dead.
But think about how much you touch paper every day. If you're not a plastic card user, you touch money every day. I mean,
I know, but think about biting every time you eat. You eat every day, 3-4 times
Yeah.
a day. You're gonna bite your tongue every
Yeah,
single time. And
Yeah,
we're
but you
not
can
biting-
adapt to how hard you're chewing.
and that's the thing that you have. I'm not
Like, yeah, you'll-
arguing. I'm not arguing one way or the other. I honestly, in my opinion, would be I'd bite my tongue, like
And what-
because or no, I would get paper cuts because you have to eat to live. You don't
Mhm.
have to touch paper to live.
Yes, I do. It's how I make money
Well,
to live.
My whole thing is I'm poor, so I ain't touching paper very often anyway. But I like to eat, and I don't want to feel excruciating pain
and,
when eating. Because everyone knows what it feels like to bite your
You
tongue.
absolutely
Fucking
have
sucks.
to touch paper to live, by the way. It's not just me.
No,
you,
no, no.
you
Like-
not you. You made the point of touching money.
Right? No,
You're horrible with credit cards.
So what I'm saying is the thing that I'm saying is a basic need to live is to eat, to
yeah.
consume sustenance, and I don't have to touch paper. Like I can choose not
Dog.
to live a moneyless.
you just be like, hey, can you pick up
Paperless
that piece
life.
of paper for me?
Yeah.
You choose to chew slowly, too.
I mean, you're still
You're
gonna
still gonna bite your tongue.
It's just gonna be slowly.
Ah.
So regardless, each one is painful. Obviously, the tongue thing is it's kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it's like once you bite your tongue, you know you're gonna keep biting the same spot
Yeah.
over. And it's like, I mean, I think biting is like the side of your lip is worse.
Oh, your
like
cheek,
the inside of your cheek. Yeah, that hurts like a motherfucker. It's worse than biting your tongue. But I'm gonna go with Alec again with I'd rather not bite my tongue. I'd rather get paper cuts, even though paper cuts hurt like a bitch.
You
I
guys are
just-
not thinking enough about
I
this.
slap a Band-Aid on there, and then I will not be biting my tongue every time I eat. I mean, what if you're eating something spicy and you bite your tongue and then boom?
What if there's a hint of paper in the Band-Aid? Then what?
Oh no!
Yeah, you say you can go paperless. You can't. There's contracts to look over in real life. There's books. There's flyers. If you ever lose your dog, what do? Are you not putting up flyers?
I put up an APB on the internet for the police.
Oh
to
my
lock,
God.
to lock down where my
my
dog
only thing is like I don't look at a lot of contracts. Only time I would really handle like a large amount of money is when I hand the wad to my landlord, and that hurts anyway.
The wad.
Bro.
We'll get into why you're paying cash to your landlord later.
He's a fuck.
So I see Dylan's point. So yes, I've been through the car buying process, the house buying process. There's a lot of paper involved. That's lots of paper cuts. But I think I'd endure it. I would, I guess, wear thimbles on my fingers every time I know I'm gonna be.
It doesn't say you bite your tongue every time you chew. It says every time you eat.
Just one time.
Each individual time.
I'm just
If it's me, I'm just eating slow as possible. Bite your tongue as slow as possible right now and tell me you're in pain.
But think about eating.
No, do it. You? Oh, wow!
But think about it. Who bites their tongue when they eat soup? You're gonna have to bite your tongue when you eat soup.
What? Just don't chew the damn soup.
hold up. Do you eat soup or do you drink soup?
It depends on the soup.
Bro, you
Anyway,
just slurp it.
No, but that's the thing. That goes back to your point. You don't have to chew to bite your tongue. It says every time you eat, you bite your tongue.
I want to make 2 points. One, I don't think this would be a question if some pain weren't implied, and two, I think I eat more often than I handle paper. I don't handle paper very often.
Yeah, that's why I'm with Sean. I mean I see your point, Dylan, but
Y'all are dumb.
I'll take the paper cuts over
Yeah,
the
take the
biting
paper
my
cuts.
tongue every time I
Good luck picking up anything.
All right. I guess we can go ahead and get to. You want to do one more? Would you rather?
Yeah, let's do
Sure,
one.
man.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Would you rather spend a year at war or a year in prison?
Well, I know Sean's answer. He loves prison life.
This is a freaking hard question because obviously I'd rather not do either. But
I think I'm going to prison. Like, I don't want to get shot. That seems worse than getting possibly butt fucked or like
Yeah.
shivved.
I think as long as you're smart, not a shit disturber in prison, and stand up for yourself, you're probably gonna be fine. But you go to like fucking Fallujah or some shit like that, you might get shot at, and I'd rather not.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna play the devil's advocate on that because I worked in a prison and the shit that goes on there is obscene, absolutely just fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I would go to war. I mean, that you're not guaranteed. Sorry, if you go to war, you're guaranteed to be in battle 24/7
war.
of the time.
It is war.
It's just war. So I mean, you wouldn't be necessarily in battle at all times, but you would be, like every day is war.
I
Like,
mean-
you're getting up and
I mean, if I was like posed to choose between those two, like right then and there, I don't know. I wouldn't want to take my chances getting killed in prison rather than getting killed out on the field.
Mhm.
Honestly,
I guess it's a kind of like pride. Like
yeah,
I fought for my country
Yeah.
or whatever.
yeah,
I don't know. That's a tough one.
it is.
So you're both going with prison, and then you're going with war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to prison.
Damn.
Yep. Same. Put me away.
I mean, I'm just
Like, you can work around, like Sean was saying, in prison.
yeah.
Like, you don't have... Like, I understand, Alec, you worked in one, but that doesn't mean that, like, there's not people in there that know how to keep their head down and, like,
Yeah.
And I can
not
go back
get
to
fucked or
Like
whatever.
Like going to prison isn't a guarantee that you're going to get shanked, fucked in the ass, or like just generally.
yeah, but you're not guaranteed to die at war either.
Yeah, but
You're
that's
not.
still war. You're probably guaranteed to be deaf when you come
And
back.
when you're at war, it's not like you really have freedom. So like,
I mean, let's-
because you're stuck on base, or you're either stuck on base or out on a patrol where you can get like shot at or blown up by an IED. And I'd rather just not take that chance. I think you're much less likely to die in prison than you are at war.
I understand.
What if we took a spin on it and said you will not die, regardless. Like, you will come back.
If I'm not gonna die, I think I'm still going to prison.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to war still.
Because, like...
Prison's got AC. I'm going...
I was going to say, so let's weigh the pros and cons here. So, you're at war versus you're in prison. So, if I'm in prison, I'm getting a meal every day.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with the homies. We're playing some cards. We're doing some gambling.
There's
I'm
no
eating
PT.
some ramen noodles. If I'm at war, I mean, it'd be badass to be at war. Especially, I mean, obviously you wouldn't know that you're not going to die. But for the sake of this argument, let's say I knew that I wasn't going to die. I don't know. This is so tough. I think, on Alex's point, like, so my brother, he works in a prison too, and I've heard horror stories about, like, what goes on in there, of, like,
and it's not just like butt fucking and stabbing. It's just like just fucking shenanigans shit.
I think it's more of like, and this is kind of a tough point to make, because it's like the mindset that you have to be in prison for a year, but that versus the mindset you'd have to be at war. But to wake up every day, to do the same thing, be in prison, and then go and get caged and locked up. I don't know. I just have a thing with being caged up. I don't know. I think I would go absolutely fucking bonkers if I was locked in a prison cell for a year versus if I got to, like, go out to war and be in fly around in helicopters and all that fun shit.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say I don't want to get blown up by IEDs, and I'm gonna go to prison.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, prison, baby.
Yeah, prison.
Just because I said you won't die doesn't mean that you won't come back with no legs.
I feel like you're coming back with more scars from war than you will from prison.
Yeah.
For the most part, I don't know. That's just from my perspective. Like, I'm sure there's horror stories of war too.
And I mean, like, you're cooped up in a cage in prison. But like, if you're at war, like, you don't just get to, like, take a tour of Iraq.
Right.
You're, like, on base or on patrol. You're just kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
Wherever they tell you to go.
True.
I assume.
True.
All right.
I ain't been there.
Why?
Too expensive to go on vacation.
Understandable.
Yeah.
So, is that going to close it out?
Yeah.
Would you rather? Alright. Well, this is the segment where we're forced to just talk to each other normally.
I hate that.
Well, good, because we're starting with you.
Okay.
Go.
What's up?
What is your biggest failure?
Ooh, shit.
I think his biggest failure today is that I told him to lead the conversation and he asked me what's up, trying to make me do it instead.
Well, I thought you were asking the question, so. But anyway.
I hate you, man.
My biggest failure. Jeez.
Getting a little too real in
We're
here.
getting deep now, boys.
Super deep, man.
Splash. Deep end, baby.
I think that my biggest failure thus far.
What cut the deepest, man? Like, you just, like, you should have had it, but you didn't.
Man, that's tough.
1,000 people just unsubscribed from our channel.
That's a different question.
Not really.
That one's too deep.
Well, fine. What about you?
My biggest failure?
There's a lot of answers.
Probably at one time I fell over during band camp. That was embarrassing.
What the fuck?
See, I don't do consistent dumb shit to have, like, a
Let's
ready to
not
go
get
answer.
Crazy, dude.
Alright, I
don't know.
I got a good one. What is a common myth about your profession that you want to debunk?
Okay.
Let's start with Alec.
So,
First off, what is your profession?
so right now, my profession, I am a professional waiter at a restaurant.
Fantastic.
Professional.
Yes. PhD. Wait.
No. True.
Anyway, no, a common myth that needs to be debunked, and this is for all you fucking cheapos out there. We don't make the same amount of money that the cooks make or the managers make. So when you pay an $80 ticket at a restaurant and you tip me nothing, I lose money. I lose money when I'm waiting on you.
Not only that, you lose time.
Time and money. That's what I'm saying. My hourly page is much lower than minimum wage. And so for all those people who think that they can go out and eat and not tip somebody, then, I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm missing out on a lot of money there.
And we need money to make podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so just fucking. If you have enough money to go out and eat, you should have enough money to leave a decent tip.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was going to say.
Tip your waiters, tip your waitresses, or especially this time of the year and this time in America, so especially, people need money. So
before we get to the next person, you brought up tipping. I want to talk a little bit about tip etiquette. So I want to know you guys' opinions on like just tipping in general. Like obviously. 20% is probably, what do you think, consider a good tip? Like, you go down to a restaurant, 20% is a decent tip.
Yeah.
My minimum tip is like $2 regardless of how much I actually got. Mm-hmm. Like, if I just... Like, if
it's just for yourself?
Yeah. If I go to a Mexican restaurant and all I got was like a couple tacos...
Yeah.
And it's like $5, I'll tip $2.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's...
And I mean, it goes up as the more I fucking eat or, and just generally consume.
That's the thing, too, is like, if I go out to the restaurant by myself and I just get a few things, then usually my minimum, if my ticket's like $10 to $15, I'm leaving like $3 or $4.
Yeah.
But my normal base tip, this is excluding my waiter or waitresses like vibe they give me or how they wait on me and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's $5 minimum because I work in the business.
Like the vibe thing you said is pretty important too, though.
Yeah,
because like I respect like the food, really anybody in food, fast food. I respect the grind and all, but like you gotta at least act like you like me, or at least be like neutral. If you're even just neutral to me. Like, I don't need you to be, like, in my face, like, I'm the best thing that's ever happened to you.
Oh,
like,
no, and
just, that's... If you're, I'll tip.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, is, like, I fully agree with if your waitress or waiter was shit, then, like, don't tip them like you would a normal waiter or waitress, because, like, that's part of the game. That's how you make your money, is being personable and being able to talk to people.
See, I've had scenarios where I had just a terrible waitress. Like, she wouldn't even look us in the eye when she was taking her order. She was kind of always looking at her other tables. Mm-hmm. I get it. She probably had a lot of tables. Probably really busy. But, like, for the maybe 30 seconds she was taking her order, like, focus on me. This is your job. Yeah. Get what... Because, obviously, I didn't get the right food. I didn't get the right drink. Oh. Yeah. I asked for a Bud Light Lime. I got a Bud Light with a lime on it, which I guess she was kind of close. but like, even the food was brought out wrong. So, I mean, what I do in that scenario, because, like, I already go in knowing I'm probably going to spend this much money. I'm probably going to tip this much. If they're really great, I'll add more. But if not, I'll find somebody in the restaurant, whether it's the manager or a cook or even another waiter, and I'll give them the money. I don't know if that's wrong, but I mean, I've sought out other waiters or waitresses that I'm just like, if another waitress walks by and she notices my glass is empty, but it's not her table, I will go find her and I will tip that waitress.
Right, no, I completely agree, and I want it to be known that my argument earlier about tipping your waiter or waitress is that you shouldn't tip all of your waiters and waitresses. Yeah. It's also hugely based on the way that you present yourself as a waiter or waitress and pay attention to your tables and give them the attention that they need to help them enjoy their meal. That is what I'm talking about. When someone does that and then you have an $80 ticket and you don't get tipped, that really hurts, because we feel like we did everything that we could. We sacrificed our time with other tables maybe to meet your needs, and then you leave us with nothing. So like we lose a bunch of money doing that.
Yeah. And what someone brought up tipping etiquette earlier, and my whole thing on that is like, if you tip cash, and I generally prefer to tip cash.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people that leaves change, fuck you. I'm not even a waiter, but if you leave change, keep it in your pocket and just walk up to your fucking waiter and slap them in the face, because that's what you might as well be doing.
So let me ask you this, boys. So if you're going to get Chinese food, or you're going to pick up a pizza or whatever, do you tip for takeout? Like, if you're carrying out, do you
I'm
tip?
Picking up, no.
Okay. So I am a sucker for when you go in, I go get my Chinese food, I swipe the card, and then they turn the iPad around, it's like, tip amount. No tip, 5%, 10%, whatever. And I'm a sucker, because I'm like, they're just going to turn that back around, like, you motherfucker. You
like, that shit I kind of just blatantly disagree with.
Yeah.
Because, like, they do it at Domino's, too. Yeah. We have a Domino's in town. We doxed. You're going to find me.
Oh, fuck.
But, like, like it's turned around already, so it's not like they're like, woo-hoo-hoo.
But I mean, they're obviously gonna see it right away.
So like I see it, I click no tip every time. I never get delivery because I'm cheap. Because there's already a delivery fee and a tip on top of that. I'm just like, no, thank you.
And then you think about it, where we live, it's a pretty small town anyway, so you can
I can
just get to where you need to go.
Yeah, but the thing is like, if it's like a place, if I'm getting takeout from like where you work, I'm not going to say where you work. Mm-hmm. If I'm going in to get it, I'm not tipping anybody because they already, like, if I would tip anybody, it would be the cook.
Yeah.
And they already make like a fair wage.
Yeah. Right.
Because I think that waiters should just be paid the same anyway, and that tips, because like tips in general are kind of weird. Because it's like yeah, you get them, and you should, because you're the one like talking to them and all that shit.
But I think, isn't the United States the only country that has tips?
I feel like I'm
wrong.
Like it's the only one that has like. It actively encourages it.
Yeah.
There's countries where if you tip, they're like, no.
Yeah.
Like, that's insulting to them. And I've been to Italy. I didn't have a problem with that. But I know that in other places.
The tip is actually included in the
price.
It's like the gratuity.
Yeah, some people add that to the actual total of the meal. And then at the end of the night, when they're looking over your gratuity and stuff, they'll take that out and give you the cash at the end of the night.
Right.
So you don't know you're tipping, but you're tipping.
Yeah, but like some countries, like they're just paid fairly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think waiters are underpaid, and I think that everybody that is like on staff should be able to benefit from tips. I understand why they don't, because you make like $4 an hour. I was a dishwasher at a Mexican restaurant for 6 years of my life, and it always bothered me how like my pudgy little friend make more money than me.
Fucking meatball.
He make more money than me. Like it make like $100 that night, and I make $50. And from my perspective, I'm making his job possible to some extent. I'm not saying like, yo, we should cut 50-50. None of that. But I think that like waiters should be paid like a real wage, and that tips be dispersed like say 50% to you, and then the other 50 dispersed from cooks, dishwashers, bus boy.
Yeah, that's the
girl,
thing
whatever.
with the place that I work at is any tips that are left on to goes or anything go to the kitchen, because we had no interaction with that food at all.
Good.
We never have to take it out or anything. It's just ready to made, and all we have to do is bring it to them. They paid.
I feel like that just makes sense. That when I go to Domino's, they fucking turn like they'll be like I'll be paying with my card. It'll be like, okay, it's gonna ask you a question. It's like, okay, you fuck. Just ask me if I want a tip. I don't.
It's also not clear who you're even tipping. Like if you're I'm not tipping you just because you cashed me out and gave me Parmesan packs.
I'm not gonna tip you for like cashing me out, handing me my pizza, but I will tip the person that made the pizza.
Yeah,
because generally speaking.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. And thing we're talking about here, though, too, is like your general waiter waitress is and that's the thing too. For like, so me being a waiter, I take pride in making good tips off tables, because that to me says, hey, you did a good job. You listen to them. You know,
on the back.
You know what you did, and you did it right. So. I mean, yeah, and trust me, there are plenty of people on this fucking planet that do not need to be waiters or waitresses. They don't have, like, any type of social skill whatsoever, and they're just rude.
Yeah.
So, like, and those people...
No PhD.
So while we're still on tips, I have one last question. Well, not really a question. So you're talking about being a waiter, waitress, tipping them. I will say, always tip, especially if you're at a bar. Tip your fucking bartenders. You're getting a tattoo, tip the tattoo guy. I mean, he's literally putting ink into your body. They're gonna do a better job if they know you're gonna tip. Just be respectful. They're there. They're giving you their time. So tip, man. Tip.
I mean, on the opposite end of things for like you, sometimes there's people that just can't be satisfied and are not gonna tip you well.
Oh, yeah.
Or gonna say you were rude, no matter what you fucking do.
Right.
And then it's really on the manager to decide whether you're at fault or it
And that's
was
the
just
thing too with
a
being.
bad person.
That's the thing too with having a reputation for yourself. Like the place I work, the people who are my regulars know that I do a good job when I wait on them, so they know to tip me. But people who don't come in, it's just a common thing to know if a person does a good job, you should tip them. And if you have enough money, and this is the thing that really bugs me, if you have enough money to drop an $80 ticket, you should be able to leave me something.
Yeah.
You know, if you're spending $80 on food and I'm waiting on you hand and foot, all that.
Yeah. And
You should leave something.
We'll be fair that, like, obviously not everybody is in a financial
Correct.
way. Like, if you need to eat and you want to spend all your money on a sandwich and you can't pay your waiter, we're not calling you a bad guy for doing that.
No, not at all.
I think there's other ways. I mean, if you were obviously in that situation,
If you're in that situation, I think you probably have ramen at home.
I mean, you go to a grocery store. Don't go out to eat if you can't tip.
Yeah, but it's,
Right. Unless you just get some really terrible service. Then you go talk to a manager.
Right.
And then if they give you good feedback, you give them a tip.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Sean, most common myth about your profession you want to debunk.
All right. I'm a maintenance fella at McDonald's.
That's
Mickey D's.
McDonald's.
McDick's.
For you uncultured swine out there.
I don't really know what myths there are about maintenance men. I guess one would be that my misconception about the job when I looked at it back in the day was I thought it would be fixing more things. At most, I really just do diagnostics and troubleshooting.
It's more custodial
Yeah,
than anything.
I'm more of a janitor at a fast food restaurant.
Custodian sounds cooler.
I like janitor.
You're ugly.
We could call you Poop Janitor.
We'll get him on the podcast.
Or will we? We might not.
we named him last time.
True.
But
Who is Jonathan? Find out eventually.
Or never.
Maybe.
Jonathan couldn't be here today. He was solving the Tunisian economic crisis.
Jonathan couldn't be here today. He was too busy hanging out with his dog who fucked his uncle.
Yeah.
Real.
Also, McDonald's pays better than you probably think it does. They got benefits. I got 10 paid vacation days. It ain't like the greatest job in the world, but it's something.
Mm-hmm.
As far as entry-level jobs go, especially in this area, it's pretty much the best job you can get.
Okay.
So, I want to ask Sean,
Yes.
you are the maintenance guy.
I am the maintenance guy.
So, like, you probably know general things about just McDonald's as a whole that people would misconstrue.
Sure.
So, like, maybe it's not related to your job
Rattle off some
in particular.
questions,
But
yeah.
what about just
Common
general
McDonald's myths.
Just how much piss is in the play area?
Too much piss.
How
Yeah.
much?
Don't go in the play.
Do you recycle fries?
No.
No.
Do you?
I mean, while we're on the subject, I'll go ahead and go next because I also work for McDonald's. Like we said, small town, not a lot of jobs around here. So you start when you're 16.
There's
and
3.
That's about it. So I started McDonald's when I was 16. Kind of worked my way up through the ranks, which that's a myth I'll start with is that you can't move up. I mean, I went from crew to manager within a year, which is not really that big of a deal. But now I'm up at a supervisor level where I do a lot of IT for 8 different restaurants. So it's there's a lot of jobs that McDonald's creates.
This man has always been at McDonald's.
I've been there for way too long. I know it's only 8 years, but that's still a really long time. There's lots of jobs. I mean, there's corporate jobs, there's maintenance jobs, there's IT jobs. Like literally, there's so much you can do. There's a lot of money in the business, obviously, because it's a $1 billion franchise. Yeah, I mean, just common myths about McDonald's. The nuggets are not pink slime. The meat is actually beef, and yes, there are a lot of what's the word I'm looking for in the food.
Additives.
Yeah, a lot of additives in the food, but it's not fake shit. Like it's still actual beef.
I would say the chicken nuggets are 100% pink slime. Not like artificial, not like artificial just bullshit that they came up with in a factory. I'm saying it's like ground up chicken that they came up with.
I mean, if you know what a chicken nugget is, chicken nuggets is just ground up chicken bits.
Yeah, Exactly. That's all. But it's pink.
Yeah. Sure.
But
My dad used to call it chicken beaks and chicken toes.
That's exactly what I call it. I bit into a McChicken patty that was a little. I mean, it was right out of the fryer. It was still nice and warm, but I had a little gristle in there. You know what I'm saying?
So let's keep going on the McDonald's train here, because I feel we got two people here that can just answer a lot of these questions. Are there any questions you guys have about McDonald's myths?
I mean,
while we're on the subject,
any McDonald's myths I had questions about have been answered by one of you two over the past several years.
The main thing that Alex was trying to get to is just because you work at McDonald's doesn't mean you're going to be flipping burgers for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you can always move up, and that's fair with any job that you do. But I mean, you can work your way up at anything as long as you
put forth the effort.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
I mean, they give out scholarships up to like $2,000.
Yeah, they literally pay for school, and then they flew me out to Chicago so I could take IT classes to work for McDonald's to do, and that can be anything. That's point of sale systems. That's using retail stores. That's using fast food restaurants. Almost, I mean, they use point of sale systems in anything where they're selling something. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like it creates more jobs than you all think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is greasy work though. You gotta start from the bottom. You're gonna be flipping some burgers.
Greasy as fuck.
All right, Dylan, you want to let them know what you do for a living, sir?
Well, I kind of alluded to it earlier with the paper cuts thing, but I am a mailman, USPS. I don't work directly for them. I'm a sub for somebody else, but I am still technically a government employee. So I can't speak for USPS as a whole because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of locations, obviously. It is the mail. But the main myth I can think of is that a lot of people seem to think that it just comes pre-sorted and that, we don't have to do anything. We're just given it, we drive out, and that's it.
False.
No. I have to go through, every day I walk in, there's a tray flopped on my desk, and I gotta go through it and put it up into every single slot in this thing. I don't even know case. We call it a case. Every address on my route is on that case, and I have to find the letters, magazines, all that shit, put it up there individually, and then go through my packages and put up markers and shit like that. So, if you end up with, your neighbor's mail, I'm not a dumbass. That's just gonna happen sometimes.
Things happen in all jobs.
Yeah, definitely.
True.
It happens. I'm not gonna speak for every single carrier that exists, because there are some bad ones out there. But generally, if you have a problem, you just give them some leeway. But if a problem persists long enough, you just call your local post office and they'll probably take care of it for you. So that's really all I got. It's nothing deep or anything like that, but I have to generally talk not too in depth about things.
Right.
But yeah.
I also think that we have quite a little variety here. I mean, you got 3 food service workers and then a fucking mailman.
Yeah, I'm sick.
But,
I mean, I was in food service for a long time. For sure.
Yeah.
But, that's all of our work things.
I want you to know a little bit more about us. We want to give to the people. We want to come in here, give you some lighthearted, non-family friendly joy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Fucking right.
So, we're about at the 45-minute mark here. But before we get into the bracket, I actually went on Facebook and asked for questions from anybody that wanted to ask me or us a question. I did this twice. Got a little more than 10, I think. So, Sean, here's the first question. I'll throw it to you.
All right.
This is from
rapid fire these questions.
Rapid fire. If it leads to deeper conversation, it leads to deeper conversation.
Okay. So is this going to be just to Sean or for all of us?
I'll just ask someone random, or I'll ask it, or I'll answer it. Sean, first question from Brianna Katz. What do you think?
They're cute.
Good. All right, I'll answer this one from Logan. How does a man with clear signs of dementia get put into the highest seat in the U.S. government? That's just America, baby. Alex from Colin. If we really learn from our mistakes, why are we so afraid to make them?
Ooh.
That's a
really
freaking
learn from our mistakes.
deepity
Why are we
deep,
so
deep,
afraid
deep.
to make them?
Hit the deep cut.
Yes, sir.
Because, man, fuck learning.
Fuck learning, baby. All right, Alec, I know you've been waiting. Is water wet? From Josh.
Hooey. Let me tell you something.
All right.
It is.
Oh, if that's sick.
Water's wet. I'm just gonna say it. It's
Right.
wet.
100% agree. Water's wet.
What's wet?
Water's wet.
All right, I'll
When
throw
it
this.
listen, when it rains
Water's
on me,
wet.
when it rains on me, I
Water's
don't get
wet.
water.
Water's wet.
Listen,
Water's wet.
Handshakes all around. Firm
Listen,
handshakes.
when you get rained on, you don't get. I'm not water. I'm wet.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Come on, Josh.
I'll throw this one to the table. Are hot dogs a sandwich?
Oh, my God.
This is hard. This
Okay,
is from
is-
Alana.
But is a burger a sandwich?
So, technically, I mean,
burger's a
yeah, sort of. I mean, it's its own thing, but
We're really having
It's
the
meat
sandwich
between
debate.
two buns, baby.
I mean, sandwich doesn't have to be meat.
I'd like to solve the riddle.
fine.
This isn't-
Hot dogs are whatever tacos are. If tacos
Tacos are
Tacos are tacos.
tacos.
Hot dog is not a taco.
hot dogs a taco.
Sean, you can take a sit back. Okay.
Hot dogs are not a Mexican delicacy.
I understand that a sandwich is ingredients combined from the confines of two pieces of bread, right?
Yeah.
That is what a sandwich is. And,
Yeah.
and technically, I guess the hot dog is then placed into the bun, which now makes it
All right,
a
Alana.
sandwich, I guess?
We'll go with this. Technically, yes, but no.
Hey, listen, real quick.
A
I
hot-
think a hot dog and a burger are subsets of the sandwich. They're their own thing. They're a sandwich, but they're subsets. They're their own thing.
A hot dog is a euro.
No, but a hot dog...
No.
Sean, shut the fuck
So when
up.
someone says, I'm going to eat a sandwich, it could be anything. But when someone says, I'm going to eat a hot dog, they eat a hot
Well,
dog.
see-
And if you put a hot dog in a bun, it's still a hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, a sandwich has two pieces of bread. A hot dog bun is one.
Like,
One
okay,
piece of
Okay,
bread.
but
I think
like
this is
that's
an
what a
easy-
sub is too.
this is an
Sean.
easy argument. If I said, Sean,
Or a sub's hot dog.
Sean, if
Yo.
I said, go get me a sandwich, and you brought me back a hot dog, I'd slap you in the face with that hot
Yeah,
dog.
I mean, technically, yeah. They're like subsets, so technically, yeah, they're a sandwich. But generally, if you're like, go make me a sandwich, you're getting out like sliced turkey or something like that.
Yeah,
You're not making a burger.
yeah.
Because burgers, like if you ask for like a hot dog or a burger, you're expecting them to like put time into making something. Whereas a sandwich is just like slap it on together, it's done.
Right.
Like you can put effort into a sandwich, obviously, but I think a burger and a hot dog, no matter how you prepare them, take a while.
I was about to say, Dylan, you were once a sandwich artist, certified.
Yeah, I was a certified sandwich artist. Good old Subway. But we're gonna move on.
Thanks,
So
Alana.
yes, Alana, thank you for the question, but the answer to your question is yes, but no. All right, from our good friend Kyle Kilo. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? As many as it takes. Thank you for your question.
Very good. Very good.
And
have
my
something-
cousin...
Wait, dude, hang on. Does Sean have something special to say to Kilo?
You're my favorite nephew.
Okay.
Thank you, man. Thanks for that. And my cousin would like us to solve world hunger. Just eat.
Yeah.
Eat. Just eat, dude.
Yeah.
Just eat, dude.
Just
if you
eat.
can't eat, dang.
Hey,
Find a way to eat.
Start with the man in the mirror. Eat.
All right, next question. I'll throw this one to Sean.
Yeah.
From Ryan. Who would win in a fight, SpongeBob or Patrick?
Patrick, he's got a weight advantage. I think he's a range advantage. SpongeBob's a fucking bitch.
So, I'll say this. As evidenced from the Weenie Hut Jr. Salty Splatoon episode, SpongeBob would win only because Patrick beats himself.
You know what? You make a very strong argument. I have to concur.
But isn't Patrick, like, ridiculously freaking strong?
Yeah.
SpongeBob is a sponge.
You better get that guy.
And he can cut himself up and then come back to he's just a sponge
Now,
again.
in
I
the
don't know
Weenie
any
Hut
sponges
Jr.
that can do that.
In the Weenie
SpongeBob.
I mean, Flats tries to kick SpongeBob's
Yeah.
ass and it just doesn't work. Same with the actual serial killer fish named the Strangler.
So Patrick would just wear himself out, and then SpongeBob just wins.
Well, in the episode that I was referencing, Patrick just beats the shit out of himself
up
to make SpongeBob look tough enough to go into the salty
I just
platoon.
remember the one where they have the same colored underwear.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
there's that too.
Patrick's were white when he bought them.
Yeah. If he's willing to piss himself, he could win that fight. I'll say it.
Well, unanimously, the Sponge wins.
Sponge wins, but only because Patrick is straight throwing. Next question from Josh again. King Kong or Godzilla? Big monkey.
Monkey.
Big monkey.
Big monkey.
Big monkey. Thank you, Josh. From Tina, Harry, or Sally. I don't know what this means, but I'm going to pick or.
Fantastic.
That was an option.
I know that Sally is a part of PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's a math thing.
Yo.
So I'll go with that. And then, final question. And I think this is the best question to close it out with. From Kilo, Kyle, again. How do I see your podcast? Well, let me tell you, Kilo.
Oh, here we go, baby.
Simply go on to YouTube or wherever you watch podcasts. If it's there, it's there, but it will be on YouTube. So definitely go on YouTube, look up this channel with a space in between it, capital T, capital C, and you will be able to find yourself the podcast. But you probably know that already if you're listening to this right now. But, I think that's going to be it for the podcast, unless you guys have something you want to say to Kyle's question besides me.
No,
on YouTube, bro.
Yeah, we'll be giving out some more social media links later on once we get rolling. Now it's just kind of in a beta state. We do like what we're doing here. We like recording, like getting together and making some content for you guys. As of now, yeah, just search for this channel, for this podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. And you'll find us there.
Yep.
We'll let you know for sure where else we end up, but we know we're on YouTube, so definitely check out YouTube. We'll have links in the descriptions once we have links to give out. Right now, I'll leave a link for our Twitter. There's nothing on there, but you can look at it. So yeah, that's going to close out this part of the podcast. Now we're going to move on to Bracket Boys.
Bracket Boys.
And last time, we concluded our first bracket of Best Animated TV Shows. We closed out with, we started off with Family Guy versus Rick and Morty, which ended in a 2-2 tie with me and Sean voting for Rick and Morty and Alec and Alex voting for Family Guy. Our executive producer, young Dakadadiris, had to be contacted and
to break the tie.
And he voted Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty moves on in the bracket, but before we can address whatever Rick and Morty goes against, we got to keep on making our way through this bracket. And today, what we're debating is American Dad versus Bob's Burgers. So, I think first we're just going to go around the table, talk about each show, generally, what we know about it, what we like about it, what we don't like about it. And then once we get through both of those, then whoever wants to debate their side, go ahead, and then we'll vote. And hopefully not have to talk to Dakota ever again.
Yeah, we hate that guy.
So, I think we'll start with you, Alec.
Thank you.
You can choose whether we start with Bob's Burgers or American Dad. It's up to you.
Okay. I think that I'll start off with American Dad. Both shows are really good to me. I love both of them. I've seen both of them. American Dad is a great show. It shows the preconceived notion of what a conservative right wing guy would be all about, and then also shows the liberal side of things with say his daughter and Roger the alien. Roger's probably my favorite character, and Steve has the voice of an angel. I'm just going to put that out right now.
When he sings.
Steve tracks top tier music right there. Boys 12.
That boy sings about his mom.
It's true.
How hot his mom is.
Listen, if you're not a fan of B12...
B12 is fucking wild. I forgot about B12. I'm boy 11, I'm in love with B7.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty much got everything. It's got a dad story with Stan's dad being a criminal who he thinks is just this like super spy and ends up just being a 2-bit criminal.
Yeah, not 3, 2 bits.
Just only 2 bits.
Yeah.
And then Steve also has another subset story with his friends Snot, Barry, and Toshi.
Mm-hmm. Toshi.
And I mean, there's just a lot. There's a lot they can go with in every episode. You don't know what kind of story it's going to be. And there's even the fish Klaus, who is a German skier, Olympic skier, in a fish's body, if you didn't know that already. So, there's just a ton of different stuff that you could open. Turning on any episode at any random time, you can get whatever. So I'll pass it on to Sean Willie.
Yeah, American Dad's pretty dang funny. That fucking alien, my favorite character on that show.
Crocodiles.
Just so many quotes from that fucking alien. Yeah, he's probably my favorite character too. I don't really remember what some of the other. I know Toshi. That's a Japanese kid, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you knew it, then you should have known that was Toshi.
Hey, shut the fuck up. I know Toshi. He's hilarious. You know, they've got like a fun cast of characters there. What's the other show? Again?
Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers.
We're not talking about that right now.
Okay. All right. We're not talking about that right now.
Thank you for listening.
You can tell Sean pays a lot of attention.
Yeah, he plays a lot of attention.
So much attention.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
You really value me as a friend, and I feel that.
Good. When Family Guy started to kind of go downhill just a little bit, I started to watch American Dad more. I don't really watch it a whole lot because I don't watch TV in general a whole lot. Mostly just stick to Netflix and Chinese cartoons.
Whatever, man. Get back to whatever you were saying.
Get back, Jack.
Technical difficulties. Ooh.
Point I'm trying to make is American Dad funny.
Point made.
This is the simple shit you get from Sean.
Okay. Yeah, American Dad. I can't honestly say I've seen all of it, but I feel like I have. Because I've seen a lot of American Dad. Yeah, Roger's hilarious. Steve's hilarious. Stan is fun to watch every episode. And I think it kind of has the same thing as Family Guy had going on. It's like Alex said, you can turn it on at any point, and it's just gonna make you laugh.
Yeah.
All around great show. Yeah, I don't have much more than that.
Right. Well, I'll keep it relatively brief so we can get to Bob's Burgers. But like Alex was saying, it does have all of the same strengths of Family Guy, but I think it's just better because American Dad, it's not as like strong throughout as some of the other shows on this bracket that we'll get to eventually. But American Dad has stayed good the entire time that it's been on.
And I believe that they have 12 seasons right now.
Yeah, they have talent there. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying Family Guy's people don't have talent because, like I said before, that it does make me laugh. But American Dad, I like every one of the people in the Smith family still. I don't necessarily like all of the Griffins except Peter and Stewie. Brian kind of wavers, but those two I pretty much always like. Mm-hmm. Chris barely exists anymore, but this isn't about Family Guy.
I was going to say, compared to that, yeah, I much more care for Stan's wife than Peter's wife.
Yeah, Francine.
She's just more involved in the show, and she's funny. Shut your damn mouth.
But
it's Fran Drescher.
To call back to something I said about Family Guy last time. It's usually on as background noise, and it doesn't really grab me very often.
Yeah.
When I turn on an American Dad, I'm pretty much always paying attention. There's very few episodes when they come on, I usually catch them on TBS after work. It very rarely am I I'm going to watch something else.
Yeah.
Because usually it's either American Dad or The Office on Comedy Central. And it kind of depends what season of The Office it is, to be honest. But American Dad, really good show. I enjoy it thoroughly. My favorite character is actually Stan. I think Stan is phenomenally funny.
Hot take.
He's always funny. Roger, he's funny, but he's also really annoying, and it's like a solid 50-50. It's a solid 50-50 if he's funny or annoying.
I also really like Jeff.
Jeff
I
is
think
great.
Jeff is also hilarious.
And the thing is like, not all of it matters that happens on American Dad, but unlike Family Guy, there's stuff that does matter that like carries over from episodes. Like Jeff's a fucking alien now, isn't he?
Yeah,
or did they like rebirth him as a human? I think they actually did do that, but for a while he was an alien.
Yeah.
And then that alien gave up his own life to reborn Jeff or something like that.
All of the Christmas specials for American Dad
Bro.
are fucking phenomenal.
So good. The Moonshine episode with the Moonshiner.
Yes.
So the first one.
Yeah.
So great. When fucking Jeff stabs Santa with the Polar Express hat.
The two biggest, in my opinion, the two biggest sins that Fox has ever made is canceling Futurama and letting TBS have American Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I do think Futurama's a much bigger sin, but like American Dad is actually thriving on TBS and it's still good. The quality's only gotten better since it's not on Fox, so that's pretty sick. Good show. I really like it. That's all I gotta say about American Dad. So moving on to Bob's Burgers. Does anybody have a super strong opinion about it? All right, go ahead, buddy. Alec, throw it to you again.
I love Bob's Burgers as well. It's one of my favorite shows to watch with my fiance.
Hey.
I'm sorry, I was
focus.
I'm sorry, Alex was waving a keyboard
Don't look
protector at me.
Hey, we're busy.
Back to Bob's Burgers. It's one of the it's one of our favorite shows to watch as a couple, and personally for me, I relate most with Gene. He's just the weird kid who does a bunch of weird stuff and doesn't really care if he's judged or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's me. I like doing weird stuff, and I don't really give a shit what you think. I'm still going to be weird. You guys know this all by now.
Freak.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I know.
I also think that Louise is also very funny, and I love her voice actor. So I'll pass it to Sean.
Bob's Burgers is really, really funny in like kind of dry, sarcastic kind of way, which kind of just suits my sense of humor as well.
Because he's dry.
Yeah.
Bob himself, yeah. Like, you can't really describe Gene's humor as dry, because Gene's just kind of fucking wild.
Yeah, true. I mean, Bob himself is pretty fucking dry. The rest of the characters are pretty out
Bob's
there.
like the Sahara.
Yeah.
He's just like it.
Bob needs to moisturize. That boy dry. I honestly don't know most of the other characters' names. I haven't seen a lot of Bob's Burgers. What I have seen, I do like. I like the show. That's my opinion.
I also want to talk about the side characters. Sean brought that up. I do like a lot of their side characters too. Their landlord, Mr. Fishoder, I think is hilarious.
Fishoder.
I think that Daryl, the kid that Bob meets when he's on painkillers and is playing the video game to beat Jimmy Pesto, I think he's hilarious, and he shows up more than just that episode.
Yeah.
And I also think that the old couple from the arts and crafts store that constantly are out for Bob are also just fucking super funny. And the twins, Ollie and Andy, are phenomenal.
So, I guess I'll take it from here. I haven't seen as much of Bob's Burgers as I have American Dad, but every episode that I have seen, I have loved. Every episode I've seen, like, I haven't seen a lot, and I know who Alec is talking about with every character that he's brought up. And I think that says something about the show. The family dynamic in the show is also, like, really fucking solid. Because, like, if you watch the show, it's just kind of, like, oh, haha, funny. But, like, legit, every member of the family, like, actually actively cares about and you don't see that very often.
Right.
In family animated
all have their
sitcoms.
specific roles in the family dynamic.
Yeah, and they all like care and like love each other, and if they wrong each other, the episode plot is almost always about how they're gonna fix the problem.
Yeah.
Like one of the more recent episodes I saw, they accidentally like melt Louise's favorite toy, like
Koopy Kochi.
Koopy Kochi, and the whole thing is like a trip. Like she's sick or something, and she's like,
on a NyQuil trip.
Yeah, she's on a NyQuil trip, and in the meanwhile, Bob's fucking driving wherever the fuck he can drive just to replace it.
Yeah.
And like she didn't even have a tantrum or anything. He's legit just doing it just to be a good father.
Yeah.
That's kind of sick. We're all about good fatherhood
That's
here.
right. If you're a piece of shit dad, don't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out.
So I don't know if you have any strong opinions, Alex.
I'll talk about Bob's Burgers a little bit. Yeah, like you said, I like the family dynamic. I like, Bob's this guy trying to make it, you know? Like, he's trying to sell his burgers. He's getting his family involved. He's got a wife that supports him. And he's got some wacky-ass kids,
He
man.
got some wacky-ass kids.
I will say that Bob's Burgers, out of every show on this list, I think Bob's Burgers is my fiance's favorite. So I do see it in passing. I've never really sat down and watched it all the way through. After doing this bracket, I more than likely will be watching all of these shows to decide if I was right or wrong about my selections.
Right.
But yeah, Bob's Burgers, like Sean said, the dry, sarcastic humor, that's right up my alley. So every episode I have seen of Bob's Burgers, I had a good time watching it. You know, like I don't think I've seen a bad episode of Bob's Burgers. It didn't make me laugh.
I think it has been on for like 12 seasons.
Yeah, it's quite.
Now.
I mean, I feel like
it's been around for a while.
Not quite 12. It's like it's like a 8 or 9.
It's like just getting out of its prime, where American Dad has already kind of aged out. You know.
Yeah, like that. It's still good.
Mm-hmm.
American Dad, that is, but like Bob's Burgers is definitely either still in its prime. Like I don't think it. I haven't seen enough of it to say, but like.
I feel like it's peaked already. I mean, Bob's Burgers was a really big deal, like with everybody dressing up as the Tina costume and the gifts going around and all that. I feel like it's been in its peak, but it's still kind of in that prime.
It's about what you can maintain.
Right. Yeah. Okay. You guys want to cast our votes?
This is so fucking tough.
Debate portion. Actually, it is 11 seasons.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was only 8 or 9.
It is in its 11th season right now.
Good job, Bob's Burgers.
Also, just to point it out, Bob's Burgers actually shares its main character's voice actor with Carl, the gas station clerk in Family Guy.
That's true.
And Sterling Archer from Archer, which is not on this bracket. If I watched it enough, it probably would be, but I don't, so...
I feel like I don't know. Like, the last bracket we talked about, when we talked about Family Guy and Rick and Morty, right off the bat, I could tell who was voting for what. With this one, I have no idea what anybody's voting for.
I have so many good memories with both shows.
Right.
So, I feel like
the debating is kind of... I don't know if it's really going to do anything to sway decisions at this point.
I kind of think you need to lead the conversation here, because you've watched both throughout. So, like, if you have a strong opinion one way or the other, I think we start off with that, and then me, Alex, and Sean go.
Yeah.
Off of you.
So, American Dad is like we've said already, not quite a mirror of Family Guy, but close enough that you know that they're made by the same people.
Yeah.
Bob's Burgers was like a total spin. The animation style is different. The story behind it is all different, and it's a story that a lot of people can relate to. Being, you know, short on cash all the time, just trying to make a living, doing what you do, working every day, day in and day out, and you know, family. So that's a thing that a lot of people can get behind because they live it. So. I don't know. For me, it's so tough because, like, I am the only one who's seen both of those all the way through, and I have my favorite things about both of them. To pick one of them is going to be extremely hard for me specifically, but based on everyone's preference around the table, if you're looking for a more story-driven show, you want Bob's Burgers. If you're looking for a sporadic, show that, you can turn on at any point and know what's going on and everything just is, wacky and crazy, then it's American Dad.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys can go off that.
So we'll save your vote for last.
Right.
That's
how I'm going to need a minute.
Does anybody want to start, or should I just go for it?
Have at it.
All right. So I'm gonna vote for American Dad only because I've seen so much more of it. I do think if I've seen all Bob's Burgers, I would probably vote for it. Everything I've seen from Bob's Burgers I have loved, but I've just seen so much more American Dad, and there's not a lot in American Dad that brings it down enough for me to vote for a show that I just personally haven't seen enough of. I want to watch more of it, and I probably will. So, like, if we ever revisit this bracket or Bob's Burgers appears on another bracket, it could very well get my vote then. But for right now, I'm going to vote for American Dad. Okay. Sean, what you got?
I'm going to do the...
yeah!
I'm going to do the same thing. I have seen more American Dad than Bob's Burgers. I've seen hardly any Bob's Burgers. It's good. It's a good show. I just don't think I can really vote for Bob's Burgers over American Dad, given that I haven't seen nearly as much of it.
Okay.
That's fair.
Side note, we should probably pick shows we've seen all of.
Yeah,
there's no way
lots of other shows.
There's no way to do that, though.
Right. Not everybody has seen every show. We want to kind of make this as broad as we can.
It's like I feel like as long as one of us have a strong opinion about whatever's in the bracket, it's fine to have it in there. Because it's like, if Bob's Burger, it could have gotten my vote, I think, to be honest. Yeah. And like, if you vote for Bob's Burgers and Alec also does, I'll just change my vote at that point. Because like, it's pretty close for me, to be honest.
Okay. So, honestly, I think Bob's Burgers, it takes longer to get into because of the satire and the humor that they do use. It's a hilarious show, but just for nostalgic purposes, I'm gonna go American Dad. I mean, it's a show I remember watching, loving, laughing.
Yeah. You don't have to vote for American. You don't have to give it the.
I still want you to cast your vote.
I already know what my vote was going to be, and it's going to be Bob's Burgers. The main reason that I chose Bob's Burgers over American Dad is the family dynamic and the way that it speaks to more people than American Dad does. But listen, guys, don't get me wrong. I still would like a shot of B12 every now and again.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. But yeah, I agree. If you guys ever get a chance to sit down and actually watch all of it, it's so good.
I haven't seen much, and this was close for me even then.
It was very close. I was gonna lean Bob's Burgers, but for the sake of, I really thought you were gonna lean Bob's Burgers too, which you did.
Yeah.
And for the sake of not having another tie, I went towards American Dad. And
like I said,
for the nostalgic purposes, I want to go American Dad here.
Don't get me wrong. The
Family Guy's out, so I had to include American Dad.
Right. Hey, and listen, to all you guys listening, these are both great shows you should watch for sure.
All the shows on the list we highly recommend.
I do plan on watching more Bob's Burgers. Mm-hmm. And like I said, if it ever appears again, I'm probably going to be much more educated on the matter.
Definitely.
So they'll definitely help me out then. I think that's going to close out that bracket, though, unless anybody has any more thoughts.
American Dad moves on.
American Dad moves on. We don't know who it's going to face off against yet, but next time on Bracket Boys, we're going to move on to see who Rick and Morty will face off against, and we're going to debate South Park versus The Simpsons. I think I know how this is going to go, but I'm not going to tell you because I need you to watch my show. Because we need people,
money,
and we're glad you're here, but we simply need more people, and I can't spoil things.
Listen, Sean, it's not all about the money. We're creating great content.
If you want to watch the podcast and just skip straight to Bracket Boys, more power to you. That's fine. At least you're watching our content. But I do implore you to watch all of it.
Yes.
But that'll close out Bracket Boys. Next time we'll have South Park versus The Simpsons. And then after that, we'll have another one that I'm not going to tell you about because it's not like 4 weeks from now yet.
Suspense.
So,
in all realness, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for showing us some love, sending us some questions. Keep it up. We love to answer any questions you might have, no matter how wacky they can be.
yeah. I've only reached out on Facebook, my personal Facebook, for questions, but I'll put it up on Twitter just to see if I get any random people that have a question, and just see what happens. Maybe even Instagram. We'll see what happens. Links in the description. All we got is a Twitter right now. Probably not much on there, but you can look at it. But until next time, that's that. And I hope to see you back. I am Dylan.
I'm Alec.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Alex.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.
Let's all collectively clap.
1, 2, 3.
That was amazing. Did anybody else get a boner? No.
Where's it
No.
on the show?
We're keeping that in.